Good evening, everyone. Severe other T9 meteorologist Nathan Judd joining you for this edition of Nate at 8. And coming up, we're going to be talking about even warmer temperatures going into the weekend, even to the point where you could say it's more mild for our afternoon hours, and certainly going to be a far cry from what we had at the beginning of this week. So we'll dive into just how warm we're going to get. On top of that, some lighter winds to be enjoyed tonight as well as tomorrow. I know we've been dealing with those breezy winds going throughout this week, but finally we get a break, at least for a little bit. Much lighter winds overnight as well as Friday, but by Saturday, they'll likely pick back up as we see a breeze return Saturday and Sunday in line with a cold front passage, which is also going to be returning some rain. And while we do warm up out ahead of that front on Saturday, Sunday into Monday, and even Tuesday, temperatures are going to drop. So another cool down is upon us. Is it as cold as this past Monday and Tuesday? Next Monday and Tuesday, another question we're going to get into for this edition of Nate at 8. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning in. Our temperatures right now are falling into the 30s. We are on our way back to that freezing mark. A lot of us even just below it, likely going into tomorrow morning. It's going to be a cold and frosty start to tomorrow. Little cloud cover in place going through much of the night. It's not until we get closer to daybreak that we'll likely see an increase in cloud cover, which is going to get back to more of a mix of sun and clouds Friday, but with a lighter wind and little to no cloud cover overnight. Again, it's just a good recipe to see temperatures really drop off again going into tomorrow morning, where a lot of us are likely below freezing for the morning hours. But keep in mind, with a lighter wind, the wind chill not as much of a factor, thankfully, for tomorrow morning with those cold temperatures. Now, a question you may have, because we've talked a lot about it over the past couple of nights. Of course, what about tonight, right? What about the Northern Lights for tonight? Well, at this point on, going into the weekend, the potential to see those Northern Lights is going to start to drop off. Still, that being said, what a great couple of nights for us here into the Ohio Valley. I know cloud cover was limiting to the night before, but at least last night, we're still able to view those Northern Lights with a lot less cloud cover in place. So for tonight, the forecast is to extend up to a moderate or a K index of 6 geomagnetic storm. And on that threshold, it's possible to see a bit of a glow on the northern horizon, but likely nothing to the extent of the past couple of nights. So I don't foresee any chance of us being able to see it with our own eyes. This would be purely through the lens of a camera, maybe getting that glow on the northern horizon, and that's likely the extent of what we'd be able to see. So, nonetheless, not too good of a conditions tonight, but certainly still it was nice to spot them over the past couple of nights. So our future cast, as we go into tomorrow, we're going to be greeted with not as much sun, but some warmer temperatures, that mix of sun and clouds. Those high temperatures likely climbing further in the 50s. We'll add on at least a couple more degrees to those afternoon highs, likely, as we do extend going into tomorrow afternoon, further into the 50s. Skies do turn cloudy Friday night into Saturday. And as skies turn cloudy, rain chances are going to pick up. And we may spot some showers even for the first half of Saturday, but the greatest risk of rain is going to be into Saturday afternoon and then on through Saturday night. This is when showers are looking more occasional. This is when also during this time we can even see some drizzle in between these rounds of showers. So it is going to be a pretty, I think, dreary and damp Saturday overall. Even in the morning, it's still rather cloudy as we're waking up. And again, we can spot some showers before midday, but the higher risk is going to be into the afternoon and evening hours. And at that point, better odds for some of that drizzle in between some rounds of showers. Thankfully, it's not a really chilly rain, right? Temperatures are topping off around 60. So it's not that chilly rain and with temperatures in the 40s, but nonetheless, it's still less than ideal for anything you have planned outdoors for this weekend, specifically Saturday, because by Sunday, this rain makes its exit. So like I mentioned, it carries over into Saturday night, but notice what happens late Saturday night into Sunday morning, that the clouds are even going to start to clear out Sunday morning. And in addition to that, and the rain has come to an end. Will be colder then going into Sunday afternoon. Those high temperatures are going to be back more upper 40s after highs top off around 60 degrees on Saturday afternoon. Precipitation amounts is not much, likely within only about a trace to a quarter of an inch, and that's going to be it for us during this stretch this weekend. So not too much precipitation likely at all to be had. Again, a lot of this is going to be light, some light showers, more of that drizzle at times. Still, it's more of not a soaking downpour of a rain, but certainly still just damp and dreary is the best way to describe, I think, how Saturday is going to set up to be before it's a brighter, drier Sunday, but cooler Sunday. So I think if you're describing the weekend in a list of several words there, that would be the best way to describe it. Like I mentioned, we do have a nice break from that breeze for your Friday. Those winds are much lighter by Saturday and Sunday, though they'll pick back up. Wind gusts will be back closer to 25 to 30 miles per hour for the weekend. That coincides with the return of rain, with that cold front passage, and the cool down that we're going to have from Saturday into Sunday. Temperatures will likely continue to trend a little bit colder early next week. No 30s, not a repeat likely of what we had for as cold for this Monday, Tuesday, next Monday and Tuesday, but still, a string of some pretty chilly days into early next week. And the coldest likely is setting up to be Tuesday when we deal with a separate system moving in. Low pressure system returning, likely some rain showers. And with the onset of this, as it looks to arrive early Tuesday morning, you can notice those lows are even around 30. With the lows below freezing, we can get a situation where initially the showers that are moving in are in terms of snow. So have to watch there. A brief period of snow is possible before we get that transition to some chilly rain as temperatures climb into the 40s into Tuesday afternoon. So it is something worth keeping an eye on for Tuesday morning's commute. Certainly will do so going into Tuesday. Not that it's going to be a major impact, but just something to note and watch for into Tuesday. By next Thursday into Friday, then return likely of some more rain showers. At that point, our temperatures are climbing back into the 50s and likely not too much snow mixing in with that. That's going to be primarily rain at that point as temperatures start to trend upwards for the latter part of next week. While we can deal with some rain showers in the next Friday, rain chances look to lower into next Saturday. Austin, good evening as always. Today was nice, but that air still felt like winter, still the chill with that breeze in place, certainly. Can't believe that we're only 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. It is hard to believe, isn't it? Do you believe that it's too early to start decorating for Christmas? And no, I mean, everyone do their own thing. I don't feel like you have to be, pressured to feel bad or feel good either way. I don't think it's too early to start decorating for Christmas. And if you want to, absolutely go right ahead. I don't think so. Especially, if you did it earlier this week, it looked like it, didn't it? It's crazy to think about the beginning of this week. Just thinking, we've had some mild Christmas days before. It's not in the realm of possibility what we had earlier this week. Monday and Tuesday was going to be more of a wintry, more Christmas-like day than what we end up getting on Christmas Day. So we'll have to see. We'll think back, as we look at, here in the next month, we'll see how the forecast is shaping up on Christmas Day. We'll think back to our couple of cold, early November days and think back to wow, that was a little more of a Christmas day than what Christmas is shaping up to be with that wintry weather. Sean, good evening for joining us from Alabama this evening. Well, thanks for tuning in, Sean. Good evening to you as well. And Joe, good evening. Thanks for thank you, Joe. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you all for tuning in as always. Really appreciate it. Again, coming up as we go into the weekend, just going to be watching for a return of some pretty dreary, damp conditions Saturday. Nothing that looks to be really impactful. No damaging winds. Likely not dealing with no flooding concern that trace to 1/4 of an inch in rainfall amounts. So not much precipitation, but it gets more of the light. So not that we're not getting not to say Saturdays is mainly dry, because I don't think it is. It's just a lot of our precipitation is light. So when you deal with that drizzle, some light showers, it just doesn't amount to much, right? When it comes to the rainfall amounts, but it's still going to be a pretty wet day Saturday, especially again in the afternoon and evening, and even continuing into Saturday night. Now by Sunday, much drier, and a cool down will be felt. So it's not a real chilly rain on Saturday. Highs are still topping off around 60, not it's warm, but you get the idea. Not real chilly rain Saturday, and then it will turn chilly again Sunday and early next week, and certainly some chilly showers then likely by next Tuesday. Well, Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Keep in mind, coming up tomorrow, we have high school football action. You can catch me with that next edition of Nate at 8 coming up into next week. We'll be dealing with that point. We'll be talking about the potential for some rain and snow going into Tuesday. So stay tuned for the latest on that as we go through the weekend. Until then, of course, you can always catch me coming up News 9 at 10 on Fox 9, News 9 tonight at 11, as well as, tomorrow, News 9 live at 5, 6, 10. I don't believe we have a 10 o'clock, 11, at 11 o'clock. They shortened their edition with Sports Friday. But yeah, you can catch me coming up, of course, throughout tomorrow evening as well on air. Continue to keep you updated, of course, on my social media as well. Nathan Shutt News 9 and Shutt WTOV, bring you the latest on that rain coming our way for this weekend. It's a pleasure as always. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful night, great weekend. I'll see all of you on that next edition of Nate at 8.